Welcome back everybody, Dave the Gamer here. Today let's take a look at 1 to 300 blacksmithing made easy. So I used Wowhead for a lot of this, but I wanted to break it down a little bit further, give a little bit of tips and tricks along the way. Let's dive right into it. So first off, the trainers. So this is the Alliance, the Horde trainers, and all of the expert blacksmithing trainers. So be sure to pause the video or check below for any other of the information in the links that I used along the way. So first off, materials needed. Really not too expensive. So most of the money you'll be spending is more in the thorium bars, rugged leather. Everything else though is pretty cheap overall, making this very easy to get into. Looking at 1 to 125. So you're starting off nice and easy. 1 to 30, you're just doing a ton of rough sharpening stones. 30 to 65, rough grinding stones. 65 to 75, coarse sharpening stones. Then you jump into 75 to 90, coarse grinding stones, a little bit more. Sorry, the other one was sharpening stones. This one's grinding stones. Then you're getting into runed leather, copper belt. 100 to 105, silver rods. 105 to 110, runed copper belt. And 110 to 125, rough bronze legging. So overall, like I said, this is a very cheap 1 to 125. As we're cranking it up a little bit, 125 to 225. Starting off, you're going to make 35 heavy grinding stones. Then you're going to make 10 patterned bronze bracers, followed by 5 golden rods, then 10 green iron leggings, 25 green iron bracers, 10 golden scale bracers, 30 solid grinding stones, and 15 mithril gauntlets. So that's going to get you the whole way to 225. Still not too expensive. We did introduce some mithril bars there that will start to get a little bit more costly, but overall not bad at all. A lot of this stuff you'll be able to resell on the auction house or disenchant to get most of your gold back. This is where it gets a little bit more expensive, 225 to 300. So first off, you're going to start with 10 steel plate helmets. Followed by, so I would get the mithril spurs if you can get the recipe, because you can actually make some money attaching those for people. That will get you from 235 to 250. 250 to 260 dense sharpening stones. I still use this even on my rogue. It's a cheap alternative. 260 to 270 thorium belt. 270 to 275 thorium bracers. 275 to 290 imperial plate bracers. Then 290 to 300 thorium boots. So overall, why did I level to 300 blacksmithing? There's a couple reasons why. So first off, there's a couple different specializations you can go into. Depending on the class is what you'll want to go towards, or depending on what type of item you want to get. For example, Iron Smith specialization, the Lionheart helm is massive for many classes, specifically the warriors. You can't beat it. The 2% hit, 2% crit. You can make a lot of gold if you can get this pattern. Titanic leggings, another huge one. A lot of people are going to be after these two items and will pay a pretty penny if you can get these recipes. Now, a lot of the most sought after recipes are obviously you get them while you're raiding or dungeons. So it does have that's why you can get a large amount of tips if you can get these, because it's not just so easy to get. Then you look into weapon specialists for axes. The Annihilator, which is great for reducing the enemy's armor by 200. You have the Arcanite Reaper, which is a nice axe, a starting axe. Then you have the Nightfall. The Nightfall is massive. As long as one person, especially with the debuff cap being removed, you'd want typically one shaman, melee shaman, to have the Nightfall axe. That's just going to help everybody that does spell damage, like your mages and everybody. It's just going to help them do even more damage overall. Very expensive to craft, but highly worth it. Another weaponsmith, swords, not as sought after. I mean, these are okay, but really nothing worth really going down this direction. The Blackguard increases the parry chance. Yeah, okay, not bad. Arcanite Champion, chance to heal yourself for 250 to 300, increase your strength. That's not bad overall, but realistically the proc rate's fairly low, and there's so many other two-handed swords that you're going to go with otherwise. So I don't recommend the swords. I recommend going the first two options, which the armor smith or the axes. You do have the Hammerton, which is, the Persuader, okay, 1%. That this is definitely not a bad, since it is one-handed. Still, nothing really big. Ebon Hand, like I said, it just doesn't compare. Now, as we get into TBC, you're going to see a lot of people go with blacksmithing, specifically for some of the early weapons that you can craft. I know with my rogue, I think there's a mace and an axe or a sword that's like best in slot for a very long time. So I will end up going that direction to be able to use it. So some other key patterns that I wanted to quickly mention. So like the Dark Soul leggings improve your hit by 2%. That's pretty nice. You're going to get a ton of stuff like the Icebane breastplates. That's going to be the frost resist. That's what you're going to need for Nax Ramus. So you're going to see that become more relevant. The Iron Vine breastplate. You're going to see a lot of people buy these for the nature resist. And then the White Soul helmet definitely gives you some nice healing overall, but nothing to be crazy about. The main thing is you're going to get into the frost resist and the nature resist. Those are going to be very key. Other than that, you have the Mithril spurs, like I spoke about earlier. You have the Thorium spike. These are all different things that these three are ones that you can craft and put them onto someone's weapon. Attach a chain to a weapon, making it impossible to disarm. Amazing for PvP. Elemental Sharpening Stone, the best overall for putting on it. It is quite pricey to do it because it only lasts every 30 minutes, but this is what most people are using in raids. So a lot of great patterns overall for blacksmithing. Like I said, blacksmithing is going to become even bigger once TBC comes out. So I highly recommend, if you're playing rogue in some other classes that are going to get those items, I would level it up before TBC, before the prices go through the roof. Hopefully this was helpful and you can get the 300 blacksmithing. And until next time, game on.